Sorry about that. Part two. Now, as you know, I'm a big baseball metaphors matter. I call myself the 2012 San Francisco Giants. Now, stay with me. Ken Burge has proved over and over and over that culture and baseball mirror each other. Now, as he has died, now, was it the cancer that killed? I don't know. But non-Hodgkin's lymphoma twice. Whoa. I'm very sad to hear this. Now, again, I didn't know until now. Now, I knew Tony Gwynn. I knew Tony Gwynn personally. I used to visit with Tony. I've done so much activism and work in San Diego in PB, which North PB, where, I've been this whole time, especially post-cancer, is La Jolla. The tide pools that, if you think about all that work I've done in La Jolla, on all the tide pools for all this time, I didn't know that he got cancer exactly the same time I did. Right? We're exactly the same age. We're born within weeks of each other. We're 1960s. The O'Malleys, he's their grandson. The O'Malleys and Ogden used to have such incredible ties because of the Ogden Dodgers. We were the farm club that fed into the Dodgers all those years. Lasorda, Garvey, Say, Lopes, they all played here. Long historical ties. And of course, the fight at Chavez Ravine. When they went there, it's an historic fight. The guy who fought the O'Malleys tooth and nail, the famous old governor, Olson, he went to Ogden High, right here in Ogden. As I say, I don't want to say, but baseball metaphors matter. Now, I didn't know. Here I am. All those years right there, and I'll be back there again here the next full moon cycle, sleeping in a sleep bag at my place, PB. I've been there going back and forth from Ogden, Utah my entire life. How much I rehabbed my cancer there. I don't know if Scripps treated him, but Scripps is in La Jolla. Now, they're MD Anderson, as I was talking about Marshall. Me and Marshall were very close friends. We were in the room next to each other, fighting. I got sick in the fall of 2011, as you know. So did he. He fought at 2011, 2012. Now, was he have the same? My guess, yes. I had a cutting-edge, world-renowned, world-class doctor. In fact, Dr. Uda, one of my doctors, was a doctor at Scripps for a while. But, I had Fimbo Peterson. I come from a family of doctors, and really famous ones, and I was headed to the Mayo Clinic. That's where I was headed. I got sick. It attacked me. I have AML de novo, which wrapped around my lower bowel. It can present tumors, and the misdiagnosis went on for about 3-4 weeks, almost killed me. They wanted to gut me. I said, "Ever you bad doctor," but I was a millionaire. I was uninsured. So I forked all the money. I made calls, and I was like, I'm headed to the Mayo Clinic in Scottsdale. I have family that are bigwigs there. Vincent Hansen, the famous doctor who was partners with my uncle, he finally at the last minute got involved in bone marrow biopsied me. This is in 2011. This is baseball, the Fall Classic going on. This is October of 2011. So the ironies of this, because Corey Seager played here. I knew Corey Seager. I've got an autographed ball and hat I've been showing around. I knew him personally. I got sick, so I didn't get to watch it, and that was in 2012. In 2011, the Rangers were in the World Series, right? Yeah, I didn't get to see any of it because I was clinging to fucking life. That's right when I get sick. So I go through in 2011, I'm quarantined when they finally figured out going in and out of a coma in the bone marrow. While I'm in the bone marrow transplant center, and I've got the field. I've got 3 radio shows. I'm shooting videos inside there. Everybody's watching because I'm on the Santa Onofre shutdown. San Onofre, San Diego. San Onofre, the reactor, in the 30th of January, 2012, the very night I'm going in and out of a coma. My sickest night, it got a leak to me. They had an accident. They were cheating on the exchange. Guys inside, they were leaking it to me. I'm in a bone marrow transplant, fucking almost dead. So I'm doing videos, I don't care. What are they going to do to me for leaking that out? They're cheating on the exchange, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, and without my cancer, there's no way San Onofre ever shuts down. They leaked. They opened the vent and they vented nuclear fallout all over. And that was in 2012. Now, he got cancer 2011 like I did. Now, I was in PB in 2011, fighting with the cesium-137 in the tuna that was being caught. I'm doing all that work. And then, of course, I get cancer. And I've always, baseball metaphors, they're everything. So I'm battling like he was, 2011, 2012. Now, I don't know if he was a Scripps. I know that he had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is the exact, they're Siamese twins, AML leukemia. They're vicious, brutal blood cancer. Vicious. LDS has pretty serious ties with Scripps. And you know what I call Huntsman? I call Huntsman the luxury good of death. And that's all my words. That's LDS. So I'm headed to the Mayo Clinic in Scottsdale. Vincent Hansen, who saved my life, he says, no. He bone marrow biopsied me because it was all misrun. They had it all wrong. And, he's like, I'm the one that brought up, do you think it's AML de novo? It's possible, I was literally conceived at San Onofre. It really made them my father, this San Onofre Marine, and who died of this disease. By the way, who hated the Dodgers. But we'd go to the Dodgers. He was a Reds guy because the Ogden Reds. He loved the Reds. Pete Rose was God, just asking. A lot of that generation, but he died of this brutal disease. So it doesn't look like it's working. They had to quit after 3 rounds of chemo. They want 5 rounds of chemo on me, and then they wanted to transplant me. I had a match. It was a young woman from New York through the bank. Now, the bank I've always advocated for selling your, blood, be able to sell your bone marrow. Now, we have a data bank that's literally thousands of times bigger than it was when I got sick 2011. But in 2011, after 3 rounds, I was just too sick into 2012. I was quarantined in there for 9 months, and it wasn't working. It was, but it was. It blocked thing, but my platelet counts were stuck at like 30. I wasn't recovering. So we decided to not have, because a guy named Brian Morris, who I just talked to the other day, did the same thing, and he sent him home to die, and he didn't die. It was basically the same thing with me. So I decided I'm going to walk the coast of California. Now, the irony of all this is 2012. So 2012, I'm back in the hospital. I've been in the hospital the whole time. I stayed in that LDSE state unit off and on, mostly on for the first 9 months, 10 months. But I'm in there, and I'm so fucking sick, and it's not working. Everything's falling apart on me. My blood counts, my plate. That was in fall of 2012. You can't make this story up. I'm in my room, quarantined again, and I'm fucking dying. I'm just clinging to life in October of 2012. The Giants, and this baseball metaphors, the Giants had lost 2 games in the divisional series to the Reds at home. They're done. They got to go to Cincinnati, a hot Cincinnati team, and win 3 in a row. Ain't going to happen. Game 3, I think they had 1 hit through 9. How they not beat? Defense. Pence up against the fence, the play at the plate. I'm watching the game going, I'm so sick. I'm trying to watch the game. Barely could watch TV, so I finally got it on the radio. I'm listening to it on the radio. It goes into extra innings. I think they won with 2. One of the greatest defensive performances in baseball history. They held on just like I did through the night. I don't know how I didn't make it through the night. But I like that. I hang on to fight another day. Then Lincecum, by the way, Lincecum's wife has died recently of leukemia, sadly, very sadly. So they hang on and live to fight again. Lincecum the next day looks like they're beat again. I'm struggling. They win. They get to 5, they got to win another one. They do it. So then they got to go to St. Louis, and I'm just fucking going in and out, in and out, in and out. This is 2012. I mean, I'm all but dead so many times, it's unbelievable. You go ask my doctor, he'll tell you, Kevin Blanch is the biggest miracle in my career. I'm at LDS State with the legendary doctor, the team of doctors there, the incredible Fimbo Peterson. Julie Ash, freaking Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Uda from Scripps. And then they have to play St. Louis. They're down 3-1 to St. Louis, the Cardinals. They come back. Then they got to play the Tigers, who have the first Triple Crown winner. By the way, I think that Ted Williams' house got tore down. Now, somebody needs to go there and check for me. I tried calling Peter. You can't get a hold of him. He's in love. Different Peter. And so I've lost a lot of my ties. I can't get a hold of Rachel. All my ties in San Diego. Baseball metaphors matter. Did they really tear down Ted Williams' house? Remember I did those videos right over there just this year. I was over there at his house right there in Hillcrest. North Park there. I think they did. He's from there, His mom's originally from there. He's originally there. His mom was Woman of the Year in San Diego. She's Mexican, by the way. His mother. The great Ted Williams. Oh, my God. Do you know about the baseball park down there by the harbor? What was it called? Lane Field? He played for the Padres. Ted Williams did. Well, it was just minor. Yeah, it was minor league until 69. Then they got a team. Ted Williams played there. Greatest baseball player in history, that's all. So baseball metaphors matter. And I'm very sad to see this. And I was reading about today, and I'm like, oh my God, no. I was right there. He lives in La Jolla. I was living right there in North PB, which I call the slums of La Jolla. All that. I'm there the whole time. Look at all that work I've done in La Jolla. He's right there. He lives in La Jolla. So me. I'm there. I'm sleeping on the beach in my sleeping bag right there. The whole time I didn't know that he had the same disease basically as I did at the exact same time. And he'd beat it back. They'd beat it back, and it apparently come back, and he beat it back again. And so I don't know if that's what killed him, but fighting this cancer back, we pay a hell of a price, even if the survivors like he did paid a price. Of course he has other health issues. I've had my open heart surgery post since twice. I had including this year. I have a pacemaker now. I lost my gallbladder. I lost my teeth. I remember being in so much pain in San Diego a couple times there, right there in La Jolla, that I thought for sure I was going to. I used to stay, that's where he lived. I didn't even know. His fight mirrors my fight so dramatically. Of course, his economic status is a little different than mine. I wish I would have known. I didn't know until I saw that he had died. And then I started reading. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Tony Gwynn got cancer basically the same era. Got in his lymph nodes, and, he went to Scripps and he fought it. I knew Tony, again, I was talking about the Murph. He died of cancer. That's why it's called the, San Diego State. They recently tore that down. I used to love that fucking stadium. I remember being there, my daughter's going to FIDM there, and I remember on Father's Day, her and I over there one time, and Pinella was there. We were watching Wild Thing, Hell's Bells, and we got right on the third base line. God, I love that stadium. It's my favorite stadium. And there's a play at third base. The ball comes rolling. It actually hits me in the arm right up there. We're right on the And Pinella goes out and argues and goes crazy. And I remember he comes right back and he's looking at me. And I stood up, and I'm right there, right above the opposing dugout. And I'm like, that's all you got, Luke? That's fucking it? I yelled. He turned his hat around, back out, went over and got himself tossed. It was on Father's Day. I think it was about 2002-ish. And turned around and looked right at me. Is that good enough for you? My daughter said I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't seen it. I used to love that fucking stadium. I love Tony Gwynn. I used to love. I used to love to listen to fucking Ted Williams talk about fucking The art of hate. He said he could smell it off the bat. I know right where Lane Field was to the square, right there on the. I mean, what a park, And so many ties. Baseball metaphors matter. As I called myself the 2012, and then, I wouldn't go to the new stadium. I refused because of pricing. Me on a lot, and that's not just that stadium. All the stadiums. What baseball's turned into. I'm just so disgusted. So I go to the Raptors game, which is Dodger affiliation. Was until last year, and they lost it here in Ogden. Corey Seager played here. I knew Corey Seager really well. I got autographed ball, hat from him in 2012. And then he ended up, the circle comes around. The Rangers back in the World Series. They win it this time with Corey Seager from the Dodgers. The O'Malleys. Baseball, I'm very sad to see this. I wish that I would have known. But I didn't. I didn't know that he had leukemia the exact same. I knew Tony did. And my intense fight's been well documented in a radical, incredible way. My fight, I have de novo OS, which I'm a 1%er. The type I have, the survival rate is less than 1%. That radical and that brutal. I saw this, it blew my mind. It was almost, I was right up by the D Event Center again, because Anthony Johnson died this year. He said he had an out-of-body experience. I was just up there because I had to go to the hospital this afternoon, and I was just over there, and it was almost like I had an out-of-body experience when I read this. It just blew my mind. How could I possibly not know this? Here I'm right there in La Jolla the whole fucking time with the same disease, the same path as him. I didn't know. Sleeping on the sleep bag, I wish I would have known, and I wish I would have been able to, have some conversations with him, possibly. Our paths mirrored each other so much. Really sad to see this. It should be a wake-up call to fucking everyone. And again, I call myself the 2012 San Francisco Giants. I work up and down I walked from San Diego clear to San Francisco on the beach, sleeping with my sleep bag, as you know, more than once. I have literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of tide pool work up and down the entire California. But all that work right there in La Jolla, right there where he lived, I'm living in the same place he's living at the exact same time. We've got the same disease. We're fighting back at the exact same time. And I didn't even know it. And the only reason I don't live in San Diego is I love freaking PB. I absolutely love PB. Especially the slums, North PB. Because of the water quality situation. I've well documented it. The desal plant, all of it. This blows my mind, actually. It was like I was almost had an out-of-body experience this afternoon when I read it. It like warped my brain. Like, how the fuck did I not know that? I've been there the whole time. It wasn't very public, his fight. Mine was. Tony's was. But Marshall Jensen's was. You look at Marshall. What a deal. Now, I don't know if he was treated as Scripps, but my guess, yes. Which is MD Anderson. As you know, Marshall was the first one to get the HIV injection through MD Anderson and all those ties. And, Kevin Blanch has turned himself into the research, the ML leukemia. But baseball metaphors matter. Great fight, brother. Doesn't matter if you're a billionaire or zero, it's a great equalizer, this horrible disease. Doesn't care about your freaking race, your sexuality, your age. You don't give a shit. These non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, AML, leukemia. It's fucking brutal. This should be a hell of a wake-up call to everyone in baseball, in sport, in culture, especially in San Diego. Ogden, Utah here too. Los Angeles, California. What about Santa Susana? Now, I don't know exactly what took him. But the byproduct from this treatment. Now, I know that he had chemo. I don't know, but my guess is he probably had the same type of chemo as I had. You know, it's a Hail Mary because if you don't, you're going to die. I'm here to tell you. Once the doctor uses the word acute on you, you're not using whole. I mean, and I did holistic. You watched my path. I'm a juicer every day to this day. You know, I went without a hamburger for 7.5 years. My angry yoga I do right there at PB Point. Remember all that freaking Hypocrite Park I used to call it, you know, which I still do, my place, and I stay right there. My whole, I mean, on Allison Street, you know, I live right there on Allison Street. Here we go again on my own. She was my neighbor, you know. You know, she died of cancer this year. She lived 3 doors up from her grandma did, from my grandma. In the slums of La Jolla. PB. Wow, I'm very sad to hear. It blows my mind. It actually blows my mind because he is the grandson of the O'Malleys and all the ties with Ogden here where I live. As you know, I call it 801 to 619. You know, we go to the Nick's there and we drink the beer, you know, they got the Tony Gwynn 394, and I keep saying, where the fuck's the Ted Williams 406? You know, I don't know if they tore Tony's house down. Excuse me, Ted Williams. But I read something that they tore that whole thing. And remember I did all those videos there this year, right there? At Ted Williams' house. You know, his childhood home. His mom is, I mean, Ted Williams born and fucking raised San Diego. I think he's San Diego High School. You know, or Hoover. I mean, he's as old school. I mean, his mom was Woman of the Year. They used to call, I mean, one of the truly greatest activists in the history of San Diego. These ironies blow my mind. You know, me, what I believe. You know my belief system. I think that life is so much bigger than who we are. I believe in the elasticity of time and, you know, baseball metaphors. And if you don't believe baseball and culture mirror each other, go ask Ken Burns. Watch Ken Burns' 9 innings and tell me it doesn't. I think this should be a giant, giant wake-up call to everyone. I mean, he got the same in 2011. You know, I blame it on Fukushima. You know that's why my father nuked to death at San Onofre, San Diego. The nuclear reactors aren't in Orange County there, and we got them shut down, and they're moving the waste here to Utah, 61918. There he is, right there in La Jolla, right where I'm in La Jolla. I'm right there. I mean, I wish I would have known. Very sad to see this. It's been a very surreal afternoon, all afternoon for me. As much as iron, they redid net neutrality today. You know, they voted 3-2, and I get an email from you talking about videos back in the past. Oh, sorry. I already got an I'm sorry video, which I never got. All they did is threaten me for all these years. So, anyway, while in critical condition. You know, I've been in critical condition basically for 12 years. And so, good fight, brother. Good fight. You know, you made it that long. You made it a long time. To survive non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, AML leukemia, which he did for 12 years. You got to be a hell of a fighter. You made 12 years. That's saying a lot. Good fight, brother. Stand